Welcome to Fragmental.
An amusing take on random topics. So random. We are back, dude. We're back. It's week after week. I think this might be a first.
2 weeks in a row. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you know what? We finally found a silver lining in the in this COVIDness.
Yeah, and since I mean, we both heard today we're pushed out a couple of months. So who knows what's going to happen from here? So
Yeah. You know what? I think the world's just happy that we're getting some goddamn content again. So,
yeah, exactly. There's some people out there that want us to give some content. Well, I know of one. We know of one. So there's some other people out there. Although we got some good feedback from. I reached out to a couple of, let me call them fans. And I just did air quotes. You can't see it, but I just did air quotes.
well, I heard you're
Um,
good.
yeah, thanks. That we're excited that we had a new episode. So we're coming back to back. They might pass out that we've got, like, we don't have to wait. It's like, holy shit, though. There's another one the following week. Holy crap! So,
Did you guys get laid off? What the fuck?
are you okay? You guys need some money? Do we need to start a GoFundMe?
Oh, that's awesome. But
Yeah, but
yeah, man. So we're still feeling our way through all the COVIDness. Um,
yep.
I know we kind of wanted to go back and go into the Wayback Machine here and um, kind of bring back one of our first episodes, and but really just talk about what life is like now with kids and no kids in this new COVID world.
Yeah, now that everybody's stay at home, or as actually, you know, it's funny. Our last episode is called Quarantained, so this one is Quarantained Kid v No Kid. And I got somebody that asked me, "Did you spell that wrong?" And I'm like, "No, that was it's quarantine and contained. I combined the two
Yeah,
words." It's like, "Oh, I thought you, yeah, I thought it was like an error," and I'm like, if it was, it's too fucking late now because the episode's already out there. So, but no, it's
that's a good way. Yeah,
quarantained for the
fine words.
if for yeah for those of you that are concerned that I did go to public school, but it's spelled the way I want it to be spelled. So
It was meant to be that way.
yes,
You
exactly.
grammatical bastards.
You fucking you. I was gonna say spelling Nazis, but um, the joke didn't play out. I've been struggling this week with my jokes. I know you kind of gave me a shoulder to crying a little bit, saying, "Hey, it's not that big of a deal. People are on mute," but I think I've been struggling this week with the humor. So
Hey, man, not everybody can be me. So
it's true. That's very true.
you know
So
what though? What's impressed me is I always thought it was my big ears or just being fat that made me funny. But people are still laughing even over the phone, and some of them may not know me personally. So, all right, I'll take that. So maybe there is something there.
there's I'm sure there is.
Or they looked me up on
I
LinkedIn and were like, "Oh, he's fucking fat."
Well, your picture shows up on those calls, so just FYI. And then,
Yeah, that's.
um, so what's that?
I said, "Yeah, that's what does it."
Um, I was gonna say. So, I mean, we're all working from home, or some of us are working from home. Some of us are look, looking for a paycheck. But we don't have any kids, which has been established from a while ago, and you've got at least, well, we have more than three, but there's three living in the house right now. So, and they're what, four to, what was it,
Yeah, so we got
5 to 10?
6, 8, 10, 18.
6, 8, 10, 18. But eighteen's not living there, right?
No, so we
Eighteen's
went
at a
back
different
and
house.
got her.
Oh,
Excuse me.
okay.
So we did go back and get her from school. So they were a little early on the students need to get out of here thing, which was kind of weird at that time. Right, she goes to college in West Virginia, and West Virginia was one of the last states to report any COVID cases. Which, right, that's part of the joke is it's because it's West Virginia, and I just told her on the way home, I was like, well, I mean, I got to give West Virginia credit. They found the cure for COVID, and she's like, really? I was like, yeah, meth. Like, oh, god damn it. But so yeah, so we picked her up. Kind of felt bad for her. She was pissed. Right, and in her defense, One, living with me is not fun on anyone. Um, but I mean, think about that. When you first leave the nest, nobody wants to come back home. And so she's losing a lot of her friends from college. You're coming back to a quarantine. You're 18 years old, right? Everybody wants to party and have fun when you're that age, so I get that. So I think it was really hard for her initially coming back and having to do all those things. So it's like her, in her mind, her friend are an hour and or hour, excuse me, a mile and a half away, but she can't go see him. So it was pretty tough on her. And also, I mean, we've talked about this. I have a shitload of kids. So space when everybody's home for a long period of time is a premium. So yeah, so she decided to go stay with her grandma and my mom. So that way she's got more space and doesn't have to deal with me being an asshole.
Well, fair enough. I mean, that's true. So, but then you've got the would you say
6, 8,
6, 8, and then 11?
6, 8, 10.
6, 8, 10. Sounds like a basketball player. He's 6, 8, 10.
So I mean,
He's 6, 8, 10 with the afro.
that's awesome. Um,
That's a line from Fletch, right?
I did not remember that actually. That
Yeah.
honestly,
That's
man, I haven't
when
seen
he's
that movie since it's probably been 25, 30 years since I've seen that movie.
yeah, Fletch is a hidden classic. Yeah, there's a part where he's an LA writer and he's a part where he's like a huge Lakers fan and he has a dream where he's like playing on the basketball team. He's on the Lakers, and the announcers are like, "Here come Fletch has now entered the game. He's 6'8", six. I don't know, he's like 6'8", but he's 6'11" with the afro, or I don't know whatever it may like 6'3", 6'8" with the afro or something like that. And then he has like a Lakers jersey on, like this big fro hair. So anyway, it's a
Dude,
classic.
Chevy Chase, man, that dude owned the '80s.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, the '80s were his. I mean, coming out of Saturday Night Live, but yeah, the '80s were his. Then he got like angry with everybody. I don't know what the fuck. Maybe he came off the painkillers and was just mad at the world.
Well, you're right. He got angry. I mean, seriously, now he's kind of a dick.
Hmm.
Like not like a fun,
Yeah,
ironic dick. He's just a dick.
yeah. Like people get pissed off at him, and not like it's acting pissed off. Like they're visually pissed off. Like fuck this guy.
um, yeah, I mean, it's a shame, man. I mean, now he's just an old crotchety bastard. But I mean, again, that dude. I mean, for that entire decade, man, that guy was comedic genius.
Yeah.
I mean, classic movies. And we didn't talk about him enough when we did comedy movies.
Uh, we don't talk about we do an hour episode and then we get off and we're like, fuck, we didn't talk about this person, that person, this person, that person. We've probably got 3 years worth of episodes just following up on other episodes.
Oh, for sure. I mean, those are ones, right? We learned those are just too big to get in an hour. We got to scope it down. But man,
Yeah,
Chevy Chase,
absolutely.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, back to your gaggle of kids.
so, yeah, so they're home all the time. They miss school. Here in Ohio, they've canceled school for the rest of the year. It's all online and work from home now, whatever. But
Hmm.
so they miss it. My daughter, my 8-year old, she's the comedian. But like one of her friends was kind of getting shitty, and she's like, "Look, I haven't been able to go to school, and I can't play lacrosse. Don't mess with me right now." So yeah, I mean, I think they're resilient. I mean, I give them a lot of credit because they help each other. They're good kids. They're very close in age, but like there's no sibling rivalry there. So we appreciate that about the kids, right? That's one thing I was worried about is I didn't want them to have sibling rivalry and fight and everything else. And they fight just because that's what kids do, but they're pretty good, man. So we've got a trampoline, we've got lacrosse net, lacrosse rebounder, all kinds of toys, slide. Like there's things that they can go outside and keep occupied. Um thing that bothers me the most is they're turning into gamer nerds like since this COVID shit happened. And so like they're sitting there and you'll hear them all like, oh man, man. I'm like, what is going on? They're like, oh, it's Roblox, Dad. Just don't worry about it. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Fucking Roblox? Like, you guys are playing computer games? Where have I
I
failed?
I t we talked about this the other day. I said, I mean, they're giving scholarships. College has, like, esports scholarships, and I was joking, with you about, like, what's your the Carlisle, that's the
Yeah,
youngest one,
yeah.
right? I think that yeah. I'm like, he's going, like, and when he's graduating high school, like, where's he going to school? "Oh, you got a scholarship." "Oh, yeah, where?" "Stanford." "Really? Stanford?" "Yeah, play like, play football." Wait, he's like 85 pounds. You're like, it esports. He's got a scholarship to
Like
Stanford in
Madden.
esports,
Okay,
but
come on, guys.
yeah, yeah, Madden. He's got a scholarship to Madden. But it's big now. Well, and here's what's great. I mean, uh, I hate to do this, but I mean, uh, all this everything's going uh video gaming now because everybody's locked at home. I mean, you're gonna. I wouldn't surprise if you didn't see Madden games on TV now. I mean, they're doing that iRacing shit on
Yeah, you're
Fox.
right. They've done some of that. So you had the iRacing, which, oh man, are we going to talk about that one dude? Was fucking Larson?
Yeah,
Oh
where
my
dropped the
god!
N bomb.
Like, dude, really? Like NASCAR really didn't need you to do that,
Exactly, exactly. Um, I saw a meme the other day where it had because NASCAR you think of Confederate flag because it's the South.
right?
This is where it started. There's no getting around that. But it had a picture of a there was some hillbilly redneck motherfuckers protesting something, and there was a picture of the Nazi the swastika flag and the Confederate flag, and somebody wrote they go seriously guys I don't know why you keep bringing these flags up they're 0-2, right? I mean so
Oh man,
I thought that was fucking
that
great.
is pretty funny.
Um, the other one I like is where it's like the guy's got a Confederate flag and he goes, something about burning the flag or the only way you're gonna like something about nobody's gonna burn this flag. And then they show a picture of who is the I can't think of the general for the North that went down and burned like Georgia down or Atlanta. Um, and it's like, oh, you want to bet and or something? I don't know. It's like
Was that Ulysses S. Grant?
yeah, it might have been. Yeah, no, it wasn't Grant. It was somebody. It was somebody else that went into Atlanta, or I think it was Atlanta, and burned the fucking city down to the ground. But it's like you'll never burn this flag, and it's like, you want to bet? Is that a challenge or something like
Do you mean this
that?
guy?
Anyway, you mean this that did it? You mean already? Anyway, no, but yeah, you're getting back to your kids. Not to get off on some Southern Confederate rant.
Not that there's anything wrong with Southern Confederate guys.
Exactly. Yeah. There's anything wrong with that. Um, but yeah, I mean, you and I are in calls together, so I can hear them kind of chattering in the background. So
Yeah, I mean,
they seem to be pretty well behaved.
they're pretty good. I'm pretty lucky. You don't have too many unruly kids because right, you hear it on calls all the time now. Right? I mean, our bit even, like
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, will you shut those goddamn kids up?
The bit he's talking, Mike and I have a rolling bit about like people on the calls that you just want them to snap. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like they forget to mute their phone and like, shut those fucking kids up. I'm leading the goddamn call right now,
Are you
motherfucker.
if you fucking kidding me right now?
Oh,
Oh
that's
man.
funny because it
Yeah.
yeah
Well, I mean,
it's
our boss, we hear all the time where you
Mhm.
even see, like, if he's doing a video where his son just walks in, looks at the cameras, like, "What's up, dudes?" And you're like, "Do you even lock your fucking door?"
Well, I joked the other day that we need to get a fucking collection together so we can buy a door for his office,
It's gonna be funny.
and
We're gonna be like, "Are you in a vault?" Like, I had a safe door installed. Fucking asshole kid.
this is a fucking
Don't have to
god,
worry about
that's
those
that's too
goddamn
funny. I
dogs
mean,
anymore.
but conference call. I mean, not that we're off on a tangent, but this is what we do. Um, but like conference calls in general are funny, just because and take the Zoom aspect out of it. I mean, let's just take the video conferencing out of it, but just conference calls like remote calls because you hear the fucking doorbell ring and then you hear the truck and the sirens go by and
You're right, the doorbell. Jesus, how much do you order from Amazon?
it's this fucking call's only 30 minutes. That doorbell went off 4 times. Well, but well, then the other here getting back to kids versus no kids. Um, are like the neighbor kids like ringing the doorbell for the, you know what I mean? They're supposed to be social distancing, but I honestly believe maybe 80% of people are social. I'm social distancing because I just don't like people. So it works out. This works out for me.
It would be
Um,
it would be hard, like, for us, we don't have a lot of kids just right here. I would
oh, okay.
imagine if our neighbors had kids or the people behind us had kids, honestly, the kids would probably play together. It'd be hard not
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, I mean, I get the social distancing but even still from the social distancing aspect, um, they even talk about under groups of like 10 or something. So
Yeah,
even if the neighbor kids and it's like 4 or 5 kids playing together, it is what it is.
right,
I
I'm
mean,
I'm out
fuck.
there. "Carlisle, you stay the fuck away from Johnny's fence, or you understand me? You guys will
You wrap you build like a 6 foot ring for him to wear like a suit. You know,
right. If that kid gets anywhere near you, you plow his ass over with this fucking ring, you hear me?"
you swing the 6 foot bat or all the way around.
"I didn't raise you to be a little bitch, so you better step."
You better step up.
But no, man, they've been again. You hear some of it on the phone. Kids crying, kids being very clingy. Like my kids are pretty independent. They help each other out. Like honest to God, I owe them a day out when this is all over. I mean, I appreciate it. They're around constantly, right? So, I talked to my VP. We were talking about something once. And he's like, "So, right?" He knows I'm a fan of the '90s hip hop. And he's
Mhm.
like, "So, you been listening to any, like good NWA or anything right now?" And I'm like, "Dude, I've got a dozen kids home at all times."
I'm afraid to like when you and like after we'll call each other to talk about something work related, and I know you're like you're on your like the because we're talking through Teams. I know you're like on a speaker, and I'm dropping f bombs and shit, and I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, his fucking kids around.
Yeah.
But
So, one of the first like weekends that we were working from home, I was on with a guy him pretty well, and
mhm.
pretty straight shooter. And I'm like, "Hey man, how's it going?" He's like, "It's like sucking a big fucking dick." My kids were like, I'm working from the kitchen table at this point, and my kids were at the table eating lunch, and I'm like, "And I'm gonna take this call somewhere else."
That's funny.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, so now the kids they call him the Unabomber, for the f bomb.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like he's the big sucking dick guy. Is that what?
Well, that would be funny. Like, and because my daughter, my 8-year-old times everything so well, it almost be like I can't be mad because you timed it really well, but don't say dick.
Exactly.
Um, but no, man, they've been pretty good. Especially when I hear what some of the other people are dealing with. I'm like, man, I'm pretty lucky. I mean, they have their moments, right? They fight a little bit. The, like overall, they're just so funny. So, like, my son will come walking in and just walks in and starts helicoptering his dick. Like, "Hey, Dad, check this out." I'm like, "Not in front of your sisters, buddy. It is impressive, but not in front of the
Yeah.
sisters, man."
I'm on a fucking call. All right.
How can you imagine hearing that? "Hey, Dad, check this out."
No, it'd be funnier if we did video calls and he walks up behind you. He's like, "Hey, Dad, check this out, son of a bitch."
Don't act like you're not impressed. I mean, so you get that kind of stuff, and it's like, God.
I wish we did more video calls. I think there'd just be funnier stuff in there. I mean,
Oh,
but
you're right.
nobody. Some people are forced into. My sister, I was talking to her yesterday. In her first comment, she FaceTimes me, and I hadn't talked to her in a couple weeks. I think she FaceTimes me, and she's like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Good." She goes, "Oh, your wife hasn't killed you yet?" And I said, "No, I put the gun up. My wife isn't very tall." I said, I put the gun up very high so she can't get to it." But she does her bit company. Um, you just got that joke?
I think it was just a delay.
Oh, okay.
Had to have been a delay. I was laughing
Um,
my ass off.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Seriously, it was a delay. It was funny. Um, but she does Zoom. Her team does Zoom calls all the time. So they're on. Speaking of Zoom, I just saw a stat before we got. I was reading one of my emails and newsletter emails, and they went from 10 million users in December. to 200 million users at the end of March.
Wow.
Yeah, and they went from 100 to 200 million sometime during the month of March. That's fucking crazy.
Their board members, we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah, we're gonna need all this money to fix all the fucking security holes that China's stealing all of our like, is watching all of the Zoom meetings.
All the Zoom meetings. I heard TikTok because I know TikTok's huge. Now they're saying like China like is reporting all kinds of data and everything from TikTok. So now there's like a big thing with TikTok, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I think TikTok is actually I want to say, and I could be wrong here, so don't fucking like light me at some. Yeah, like we get lit up on online all the time. So, um,
Right. All three
um,
listeners are gonna be
yeah, exactly. But I think TikTok's a Chinese company, if I'm
it
not
is.
mistaken. I think it came.
So I think
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
part of the kind of the stink there is people were like, oh, because they're Chinese owned, they're this, they're that. And I'm, first of all, I don't know enough. So I really don't have an opinion on it. I think it's fucked up if they are reporting everything, but at the same time, like they send you disclosures, I guarantee it. So, yeah, that's
Yeah,
if
they
paid
probably
extra
yeah.
or not.
And I'd like to meet the guy that actually reads a disclosure. Like sits down and like scrolls through it, like as he's signing up for the like. Have you signed up for TikTok yet? I'm only halfway through the disclosure. Hang on, give me a second. He's like
Fucking
reading it.
monocle on. He's like, gee, did you guys see this shit?
Not a like half those half reading glasses. You know, he's got his
Oh,
head tipped back with a
yeah,
half
yeah.
reading. That's a funnier visual for me anyway. I don't know about you, but
Like on the end
no,
of
I
his nose when he's looking at
yeah
you.
yeah, and his head's tipped back a little bit. Um, no, I mean, like I said, when you like when we're on calls together and you know your kids, I can hear them in the background, but they're always like they're doing something. And then you get like I think a lot of the challenges that I've heard for people with kids on these like during this time is like people with like really young kids, like 3 and 5, or like the on the really on the low like on the low end of the age scale. Um, but those are I think that's where the challenge because they have no sense of they seem to have no and you have kids so you can tell me if I'm wrong but they have no sense like that they're on the phone so they'll just come wandering up and like hey, I need a drink or I need an applesauce or whatever and like I'm on the just I mean I think your kids are old enough to know that hey wait a minute dad's talking so I probably don't need to go over there.
Oh, they do. Like they'll be standing beside me, and you'll see the look on their face. They're like, "Oh, god damn it," and I'm like, I'll mute it and be like, "What?" But you're right. Some of those kids just walk up. So again, this is where it would be funny if everything was a video chat because you'd see the guy go off on his kids and his wife, or whatever. But in the case you're talking about when they're really young, like
Yeah.
I remember seeing this live, like with women who breastfeed, where the kid's just like pulling the titty out, you know, ripping the shirt off. So you're sitting there talking. Like, can you imagine that? We're sitting there, kid just unbuttons the shirt and rips a tit out, and you're like, okay, well, he's hungry.
Exactly.
We're gonna.
So we'll break for lunch.
I mean,
By the way, that's a really nice titty. Just want before we go, I just want to say that.
right. As a matter of fact, I can't stand up. It's so good.
Hang on. While he's feeding, I'm just gonna rub one out right here while we're
Right. I'm gonna go ahead and blur out my camera for a couple of minutes here.
it's been a while, so I'm only gonna need maybe 30 to 45
Right.
seconds.
Wow, that was quick. What'd you do? Don't worry about
Exactly. But I really need to take a nap.
it. Um,
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're right. You have a lot of that stuff during the day, but again, man, I'm pretty good. So at night though, like again, so they're here all day. So it's not like you get a break. So it's constant. So even in the night, they're still doing the same stuff. Like luckily we're pretty outdoorsy family, so they'll go outside and they want to play, and then it gets dark, and they're like, okay, so well, I'm going to come back in and be a gamer, and so there's no like just what my wife and I just hanging out and you know cooling off from the day or whatever, unwinding. Like it's there all the time, constantly. So there really is no break from it. Now I sound like a real asshole, but there's not. I mean, that's the one thing. Luckily, we all get along, and I like my kids and they like me. Not just we love each other because we have to. Uh,
Right.
so that helps. But so yeah, so kind of getting right. Your work day is probably you're at home, but I mean you have challenges. You and your wife both work. You're working from home. I mean, what are some of the challenges you have without kids pulling titties out and stuff?
Exactly. I try to pull my wife's titties out, but she's like, I'm trying to fucking work here."
You're like, hey, her work her work buddies, check these out.
Exactly. Watch me rub my face between them.
Got any
No,
keys to the motorboat?
it's kind of fun. I mean, we don't have our biggest challenge is the dogs. We got one dog that's fucking psycho, just wants to be outside all the time. I mean, I swear to God, if you didn't know us, you'd be like, why do they keep kicking that dog outside? They're like, we need to call the SPCA. This fucking dog, that's the younger one, just goes ape shit if you don't let him outside. I mean, he's barking. Like, we had a call the other day, and my wife and I are in. We have a home office, um, and we're both in there. She's on a call. I think I was on a call as well too, but I think I was just listening on mine. And I closed the doors, and that one dog is just going ape shit. He's like whining, and he jumps up, and the two doors that we have like the doors we have to the office are they're I don't know, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. They're like a 10 or 12 pane glass window. I mean, so they've got all these panes of glass in it. Yeah, I mean, you've seen it, but
Yeah.
I'm describing it to the all six people that are listening. But he jumps up on the glass, and his feet are like in the middle of the panes. Now he's not a massive dog, but he's still 50, 60
Yeah,
pounds.
he's not small.
Um,
No, by any
no, he's not small by any means. I mean, to the point where when he can put his paws on my chest and he's staring me in the face. I mean, he's a longer dog, and I had visions of his feet going through the glass and chopping his fucking paws off or something. So I quickly jumped up and let him out. All he wanted to do was go outside. That's all he wanted to fucking do. And he's barking and he's jumping and he's hopping, and he's barking. And I it's I don't know. He's fucking crazy. And you let him outside, and he just goes outside and he just lays in the backyard, and he just wants to be outside. He's not running around. He's not tearing things up. He just wants he wants to be by himself. He's the most fucking isolated dog ever. I mean, like when we go to bed, he goes into the basement. I mean, he's like 3 floors, like 2 floors below us. So, like when we're in bed, he's in the fucking base. Like he wants to be as far away from people as possible. It's weird. Um, but I mean, really, that's my only challenge is that one dog. And the flip side of it too, not the flip side, but the other piece of it is like trying to schedule like I'll get up early and roll into the sit down and start fire things up about 7:30. My wife comes down, she goes, and because well, you know this, we've had both you and I have had calls at like 8 in the morning, like right out of the box.
yeah.
So and some of her stuff is like 8:30, 9 o'clock as well too. I mean, we have like a pre-meeting before the calls start. What calls do you have? I have a video call, I have to be on this. Oh, I have to talk to so and so. I mean, we literally plan our days out. Like I've got an 11, I've got a 12, and just try to balance what's going on from there. But it, so it's just we're just trying to balance each other's work days. And we get pissed off at each other too because it's just like I'll say something out loud, and she's like, and she'll look at me and shoot me in the fucking, I'm on a fucking call, and I'm like, okay. But
You're in the background buzzing a fart. Oh god damn it.
I actually did
Gee.
that today when she was on a call. I just leaned over and let one ride. I think she didn't hear it. Luckily, 'cause she had her headphones in. But we have like the sound in this room just resonates. It just vibrates all. I mean,
Yeah.
just reverbs all over the place. When she gets to talking and I was listening to her talk the other day, and she's very animated on the call. Very good. She was teaching somebody to do something, so it was just really good at what she was doing. But it's so she gets her volume goes up and she gets excited about what she's talking about. I have to throw the fucking headphones in and put some type of music just to drown out, just so I can have something other than listening to her talk. It's not any different than when I'm in the office. You know what I mean? It's just that noise even in the office. But I don't
Yeah.
have kids, pulling on me and doing that. Um, it's just balancing the day without. I mean, it's fairly easy, but I mean, but to your point, uh, we're with each other all day. You know what I mean? So there's no like, hey, how was your day? Like, I saw how your day was. I'm sitting fucking 4 feet from you.
You know
Um,
how my
it's
fucking day is.
it exactly. Um, and you just it's just funny because then you kind of we've gotten to the point where like we'll stop. We'll have a time for lunch where like I'll make lunch or something like that, and we're just sitting at their desks and having something to eat, and she'll be like critiquing how I talk to somebody on the phone, or I'll critique how you talk. And I'm like, it's just then we start getting aggravated with each other because it's like I don't like, well, you kind of said this and it kind of sounded shitty. Well, I don't care. I mean, like, what if, well, you said this, and so we start dissecting each other's fucking conversations. So, um, but but for me, because it's just for me, because I don't have any kids and I'm on a call, I'm in my mind, we were joking about this earlier, but in my mind, I'm the one going, hey, shut those fucking kids up. You're on a call. Put them in another room.
You're the
Um,
opposite. You're yelling at the guy like, "I can't hear you over your fucking kids. Do you
yeah,
mind
yeah.
would
Am I closing the fucking door? I
you have
mean,
somebody close your fucking door? My god."
that's why I said your kids are pretty. I mean, I can hear your kids in the background, but they're kind of self-containing themselves. Although I think was it today or yesterday I heard you were like, "I'll get it in a minute." You know what I mean? Somebody came up and asked for something.
Yeah.
And I was talking to somebody yesterday or today. I think we had doing yesterday about like, I have to be on mute like all the time because somebody out of randomly will come up and start asking for a fucking applesauce packet.
Yes.
And and like, I'm so afraid if I'm not on mute, you're gonna hear. Well, but that one time, what's her? We're on that call, and like I'm on a call. You're gonna have a timeout if you don't stop it. And we're like, oh, okay.
Like, "All right, I'll go in the corner." Jesus.
Like, it's like, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just trying to make a point here. Um,
"All right, I get it."
you don't like the idea. All right, fine. Um, but I'm the one that's like, Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, can't you do something with your kids? I mean, seriously, you're working. You're technically working. Put them somewhere in a fucking cage. I don't care. Just fucking.
The fucking cage.
I feel like an asshole too because it. I don't know, because I'm trying so hard, like, not to affect my wife's call, which I could give two shits about because we work for the same company. Um, like, I'll go into the kitchen and she's got a call in here. Today I had like some back to back calls, and the one when you and I talked today this morning, and she went into the kitchen and was working from like doing her calls from there. So, it's like it's like, if we can do this, can't you do something with your fucking kids? I mean,
It's you know what though, and people who have kids, like first of all, it's a decent observation because when people have kids, they feel like everybody should understand that they have it. I got my fucking kids here. All right, what the fuck do you want from me? And it's like, well, what I want from you is to get your fucking kids on a leash and let us have this goddamn call. So
yeah.
that's one thing, right? I always say this with smokers. Like smokers can be pretty rude about it because they just feel like they'll be like, "Do you have? Where's your fucking ashtray?" But like nobody here smokes, so my ashtray's in your car.
My ashtray's outside.
um, so yeah, so I think people who have kids sometimes kind of project that, like, oh, fucking kids, and it's like, yeah, well, I mean, I do, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't have fucking kids. I don't.
Yeah, I don't get it. But I'll play devil's advocate a little bit here too. Is like, um, y- I can't relate. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah,
I don't have kids, so I can't relate to it. But the but there are people that have kids, but they know how to manage it. I mean, we were talking about the like, I'm on mute all the time because if somebody randomly comes up to me and needs an applesauce packet, I don't want the 28 fucking people that are on this call to hear that. So they're on mute I mean, they manage it because they know they need to be. It's like mute, talk, mute, talk, mute, talk, mute, 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 talk. You know what I mean? Like that, where they're being cognizant of other people on the call. I mean, I get, and they're trying, and and don't get me wrong, I'm not shitting anybody that has kids. Like,
no,
everybody that has kids is a fucking asshole. But there are some people that, like, you're on a call. Just you need to do something. You need to figure because I'm that way. I mean, if I had kids, I'm pretty confident I'd be like, I'd be on mute all the fucking time, or I'd be like, I'm kicking you outside, or I'm blocking you in your room, or I'm just doing something so I can at least have this fucking call, and then we'll do whatever we need to do.
Right. I'm going to put a movie on. I got an important call. Just watch your show, watch your movie while I'm doing this. I'll get you lunch after or whatever. Like, agreed. You got to do it like that. There are some people who, and not necessarily, anybody in particular. I just mean in general.
Yeah, in
They
general.
feel like, they don't give a shit that you can't hear them because their kids are loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just,
Well, it
"Fuck
goes
your
back to what you said about like you're just you because you I'm supposed to understand.
Yeah,
Like you have well, you should understand I have kids.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
well, we don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, that's something I'm extremely cognizant of. Like, there's definitely that make sure the mute's on and like, listen, god damn it. You Okay, I don't go that far, but it's like, look, you guys got to cut the shit right now because you'll hear them
Right.
fighting, and I'm like, guys, I'm on a call. Like if you want to go fight, go back in your bedroom, but stop.
Here here's two sticks. Go outside and settle this thing. I'm on a call.
So it's probably good that I have girls, and because if I had two boys close in age, it probably would be some of that. Like, all right, put the gloves on, fuck it.
Yeah. And I like you said, this isn't a broad. And we're not picking out people. I mean, it's a broad statement because there are some, like I just said. I mean, there are some people that are very cognizant. Like they're on a call and they're trying to maintain some sort of semblance. But I understand. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that you have kids and you got I to be honest with you, I have to fucking deal with it. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
well, they have to deal with it too. I mean, you have to deal with it. It's just. I mean, they're screaming in your ear as well as mine. So
Right. Oh, trust me, it's way worse on this end.
oh, I'm sure it is.
No, I'm
'Cause I'm on this end going, "Jesus Christ, Mike, get your fucking kids under control. You got a big yard, send those fuckers outside."
right.
Dave, it's fucking snowing and raining out. Put some coats on,
That's
they'll be
not our
fine."
problem. Get the goddamn kids
Exactly.
outside.
This call's only 30 minutes. Frostbite doesn't kick into like 45, so you'll be fine. They'll be fine.
So yeah, so kind of shifting gears, right? Like, that's been one of the most difficult parts about this is not having really a lot of alone time, right? So that's typically, right, we go to work, kids go to school, we pick them up, we do dinner, do some activities as a family, kids go to bed around 9 o'clock, and then Sarah and I are just kind of chilling, talking about whatever, kind of unwind for the night. Um, that's not really happening the same way because, right, she's working from home also. Some of the time she's going into the office also. It just really depends on, emergency type patients for dental stuff. Um, so I mean, we're not really getting that. Just to your point, when I'm like, so how was your day? She's like, you heard my fucking day, you know. And she's like, I don't want to ask you because you're on the phone all goddamn time, and I'm tired of hearing your goddamn voice. And then I'm,
You mean that silky smooth voice of yours? She's tired of
well,
hearing
she
that?
corrects herself. She's like, I mean, it sounds great, but it's too much.
No, you're right. I mean, I mean, even I'm like, "Oh, fuck, do I have to hear about this fucking person again?" Why don't you fucking do something about it if you're gonna complain?
So what?
Um,
Yeah. So like, what's an evening like? So you're right. For us, it's feeding the kids, trying to keep the kids occupied, trying to get them doing some kind of activity, whether it's family exercise for 20 minutes or whatever. Like, what's a typical evening like without kids right now? Through all this
so
COVID shit.
we're I mean, it's kind of funny because well, you know, this has been. I think everybody that's working from home now gets this. It's like you look down at the clock and it's like fucking 5:45. You're like, where? First of all, where'd the goddamn day go? And second of all, I need to stop. I did it today. I was like, it was like I think it was like 5:30, 5:45. I finished up like an email and sent this file out, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm done. It's Friday, fucking, I'm done. It was nice outside. I said, fuck it, I'm done. I just shut my laptop off. But it's 6 o'clock, so we'll argue about from about 3 to 5. We'll argue over what we want for dinner, or what we're gonna do for dinner, and then we'll have dinner. We'll sit down. You know, we'll watch like something that's taped, like I don't know, Mass Singer. There's a show called Hometown. I think it's called Hometown. It's these. It's I think it's I think it's HGTV's answer to Chip and Joanna Gaines since they aren't doing shows anymore. But it's a husband and wife team that remodels houses.
No.
Um, and he's like a woodworker though,
Oh
because
yeah, he's kind of a big
yeah,
guy.
he's fucking huge,
Yeah.
right? He's like 6'3" or something, 6'5". No, he's 6'6", I
Oh,
think.
he's a big
Anyway,
dude.
it
He's
doesn't
like
matter.
6'6",
He's a
300
big,
pounds. Like he's a
yeah, exactly, with a
mountain
huge
man.
beard,
Yeah.
and I think she's like 5'5", 5'6", something like that. She's tiny.
Oh, he's ripping that
Anyway,
shit in half. No doubt about it.
oh yeah, exactly. It's like it's like climb onto the. It's like he's like the white version of Big Dick Black Guy. So, um, he is Big Dick White Guy.
Fucking squatting on the bed.
Yeah, with his beard.
How
Anyway,
he
we were
like
watching.
that
That
in
was
the
like that.
fucking mill. I have no idea.
and, uh, he's pushing like on the table saw. He's using it to push the wood through as like the safety thing.
He's like, got to keep it on this side of the fence, guys. Keep it
He's
on
like, exactly. Otherwise, I'm gonna make this. Let me go there with that joke. That's awful. Um, but that was like our dinner. We'd watch. We just fire that up and we'd watch that while we eat dinner. And I love my wife. She's like, well, so we're finished with dinner and we're sitting there. We're just kind of watching TV or what's something. Usually, the TV is on and she's either playing a game on her iPad, and I'm going through Imgur looking for fucking memes to send to everybody. So that's a typical kind of evening. But about an hour or so after dinner, she'll just look at me and she goes, "Can we do something desserty?" Which essentially means, "Can you go to the kitchen and get me some ice cream?" Which is really all that means.
That's funny.
Because we don't have anything desserty other than fucking ice cream.
I said, what are you gonna do?
And
Whip up a fucking cheesecake?
no, yeah, hang on a second. I started the souffle at 4. It should be finishing up now. Um,
Hold on, let me go get my torch. We'll have creme brulee in an hour.
exactly. It was kind of funny. I'm like, and of course I ask, well, what do you want? What do we have that's desserty? And she's like, ice cream, I guess. Right, because that's all we fucking have. Um, Actually, the other night she asked for hot chocolate because she wanted something warm before she went to bed. Um, and that's and we just kind of hang out, you know what I mean? And then go to bed, like, 10ish, 10:30ish, and start the whole fucking day up over again. Uh, but it's pretty,
Still pretty
other
standard,
than,
kind of sounds like.
what's that?
Still kind of standard. I mean, you're still doing.
Yeah, yeah, for the most part. But a lot of, and some of the nights I'll just come in the office and sit in front of the computer, not the work computer, but my home computer, and like read news and just fucking bust around the internet, see if, from what I hear, Pornhub Premium is what everything they say it is. Um, um, just to get some, because I know she needs her space and I need my space. So I mean, the house is actually, I think I think you should have this house, and you know what I mean. Because there's a ton of space in here for you and your kids. It's like 4 bedrooms and whatever, but um, there's enough space for us to get separate, and she can watch TV, watch her shows, and you know, text with her friends, and kind of have her space in the living room, and I'll sit in the office, and I don't know. I was looking at tonight. I was actually we have one of those Ecobee thermostats, um, and I was looking at all the numbers on the Ecobee, like, how we compare to other Ohioans in the month of March, and how we rate. I mean, I was looking at shit like that. So,
Oh, man.
but just to get, yeah, I mean, you're a data guy. You'd love
Oh,
you'd appreciate the shit out of it. Um, but it's relatively standard. I mean, it's like, other than us working in the same room all day, uh, with no like partition, like, I mean, there's no
yeah.
wall
Right.
between us, like
Just
at
keep-
work.
Yeah, yeah.
It's and actually, you know what I did the other day is, like, at like 3 o'clock, I was like, I got to get outside, and I went edged and mulched a couple of beds and trees in the front yard, just to get just to get some exercise for one, because all I'm doing is fucking eating. Um, and but just to get separation. Like I said, the house is big enough and the yard's big enough where we can kind of get 20 to 30 to 40 minutes where we're kind of settled down. Um, w- there was a time when we didn't work for the same company, and it was fucking awesome. I was just in my mind it was awesome just because she would go off and do her thing and I'd go off and do my thing. I mean, we got married late, so we're pretty independent people when we got married. So
Yeah.
I think we struggle with that still, where it's like, I still need my independence to, to some degree to go off and do whatever. But to your point, yeah, it's somewhat no different than what it was before, other than we just haven't left the house in a week, since, well, I shouldn't say that. Yeah, probably about a week since I went grocery
Right.
shopping.
I mean,
So,
that's pretty much now. You just leave to go to the grocery store every once in a while. Like, I'll go pick up dinner.
hmm
Like, my wife's like, "Y- let's be honest, you just want to get out of the house." And I'm like, yeah, I want to fucking get out of the house. Like, I don't care if you all come with me. Like, I want some fresh air. You know?
yeah,
Like, it's not that I want to be alone. It's more just, you know what, I'm in this house all damn day. I'll go for a quick walk around the block or whatever, or when the kids are playing out back, like I might go and just kind of walk around or go sit on the deck. And if it's in the evening, might have a beer or whatever and just chill. But there's unfortunately just not enough of that. I think part of it, and we've talked about this, is just working. Feels like we're all working more right now. So,
yeah,
right, like a typical day has gone from 8 to 5:30. Come home, and then maybe I get on in the evening and check some things. Just the average day. Obviously, there's some days you work more than others, but now, I mean, every day is roughly 7:30 to 6, and then after the kids go in bed and you spend some time with the wife, it's like, oh shit, and get the computer back out and get back on and try to knock some shit out. So I think that's eating into some of those evening times. So, and plus, again, we're active. We like to go do things as a family. So not having that, I think, kind of sucks. But again, everybody's handling it well. Um, you know, my wife going to work, I think is probably the days that we're both working from home. I'm sure I get on her nerves. Um, I mean, I'm not for everyone, but I mean, other than her touching herself to my awesome voice, I mean, she gets.
yeah. She's gonna love to hear that one.
But I mean, dude, honestly, that's the stuff that's hard. Like, the kids are around so fucking much, man. I couldn't even whack off if I wanted to. Like, I'm gonna go into the bathroom and the kids are knocking on the door. What's that slapping? Dad?" Like really, really going at it, and like, it's nothing now, thanks.
It would have been something, but
You
no.
couldn't leave me alone for 45 seconds? Jesus fucking
Exactly. On a conference call.
Christ. You're on a conference call in your bathroom? Uh,
Oh, what? I'm Jen from fucking Zoom. That would have been great if she like started masturbating in the bathroom
no.
on her Zoom call.
Oh, man.
That may or may not be on Pornhub Premium, from what I understand.
From what I hear. But, yes, I mean, that stuff's been kinda difficult. Um, so I can't get just that good therapeutic whack. Um,
That's tension relieving jerk off.
so that sucks, man. I'm not going to the gym. You gotta get creative to whack it now.
So, what have you learned from COVID-19? I've got to get really fucking creative to whack off.
Like, how creative we talking? Like, I told my kids I picked up smoking, so I go that's how fucking
What about our coworker's friend, with the kids? This is an episode about kids versus no kids. And we're talking about jerking off. I don't know if that's necessarily right, but our one coworker who noticed her neighbor running down, her neighbor's kid, fucking sprinting down the street so he could smoke a bowl or
oh, yeah.
smoke a dude
That's
with him.
that's awesome. It I mean, and that's another one where it's great because we have no context, so we can just fill in the blank. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's telling his dealer, like, "Just meet me at the end of the block, bro." That's fucking crazy.
I like what you said. It's like I wonder if the parents know and they're just like, I don't care if you want to smoke, go ahead, but just don't do it in the house. So he's got to run to the end of the fuck. I don't know why he needs to run though. I guess
Um,
to me, like if you want to, because it's semi legal here, or soon will be legal in Ohio. At some point, it's like, why do you need to sprint to go do that? I mean, are you doing? Here's it. Maybe he's doing it between calls for work for himself. And he's like, I got to run down to get fucking stoned before I get on my next call.
right. I truthfully, I think he's probably he's grabbing it from his dealer. Um, or maybe it is like you said. You've got 5 minutes, so he's gonna sprint off, rip, take a couple rips, and then sprint back. Um,
He should fucking rip him as he's running.
that's what I'm saying. Like
More lung capacity.
these kids nowadays, they have no fucking clue. Uh,
They're not creative like they used to be.
but, oh, I love that story. That's why when she sent the picture of it in the group text, it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's a weed run if I've ever seen it.
I wanted to know why he wasn't running Naruto style, though. That would have been funny.
Well, that would have been. I mean, he'd be so much faster if he was.
Exactly. It's less wind resistance.
Um, but yeah, man. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is just not getting by the kids being home at all times. It's just not getting enough of that time with my wife. So and I don't mean like, well, we haven't fucking banged in months. Like I'm not talking about that. But I mean, it's not as much as I would like. It's like because the kids are around all the time. It does become stressful when they're constantly there because sometimes you just like to have your space. So there's definitely that where I mean, look, I'll be honest, I've never turned sex down ever. So like I'm definitely like it's never one of those situations where I'm going to tell you I'm too stressed. I'm going to be like, I've had a boner for the last hour. Let's roll. You know? um,
I opened a window. We need to go right now.
So, I mean, that's my wife. Like, it's funny because the other wives, would be like, "Oh my god, such and such isn't put out," and she's like, "If I sneeze, Mike has a bone." And there's a reason I have a shitload of kids, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I get it. Like people are wired differently, so it's just she could be stressed out, like all the fucking kids around constantly. Bedtime seems to have gotten later because, and part of that's my fault because it seems like I'm working till 7 every night. So then you make dinner and everything. It's already 8:15. You know.
That's a good point. I was talking to somebody and their kids are yeah, you know this too. Their kids are going to bed later as well. So I wonder if a lot of people have just are their kids are just going to bed later because of this whole longer everybody's putting in more hours
Yeah.
at working from home and all the time is shifted. You said something earlier about like it's not like you don't love your kids, but everybody needs their own alone time. I mean I love my wife, but it's like I need my fucking she needs her space as much as I need my space. And I mean when you're in that you're just I mean it's kind of the point sometimes where like I'll ask her what she wants for lunch or something, and she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, and I'm muttering to myself, going into the fucking kitchen, like, "Will you fucking make up your goddamn mind? We made fucking, But and it's like, what are you doing? It's just, but you're on everybody. I mean, you're that close all day, every day. Um, but with the weather getting nicer, and like we said, we got extended, so um, it's gonna and things that hopefully things are at work will slow down just a little bit. Um, and but we can maybe learn to manage our times a little bit better either. But but maybe we can get outside more
Oh yeah. I mean, I can
and
see.
just and yeah.
We've got 4 big maple trees on our property. So like our deck will be shaded. So I'm sure once the leaves come in, I'll probably work a little more from the deck and just to get that fresh air. And
Hmm.
yeah, I love to be outside. So I think my wife would be, she obviously likes going outside, but I think like for me, like, I love to just go out for walks. I love to be in nature. Like outside is just important to me. To her, she's much more like, you go on a fucking walk, Jesus, Um, but yeah, man, I think it's just that close proximity constantly. It's stressful to a lot of people. I mean, luckily my wife and I still love each other and like each other. Um, so I learned that when we went to the national championship game when my brother was coaching. We drove to Dallas. So I mean, that's a long time in the fucking car. So people were like, "Oh my god, you guys are going to be divorced by the time you get back." No, it turns out we really like each other, and it was a great car ride. So also that's pretty much the only time in our adult lives that we haven't had children around. So I mean, we're used to them being around all the time, so we don't get, it's very rare we're getting that time to just be her and I. It's usually after they go to bed. And we're talking about whatever. And now it's to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm so sick of it. I don't even want to bitch about my day,
Right.
you know? So, I mean, it's just kind of like, let's just talk about anything that's not work.
Well, it's funny. I mean, without, I mean, but throughout the day though, I mean, you're dealing with your kids throughout the day. So, um, like for us, I mean, you got work, kids, work, kids, work, kids, work, kids. For us, it's just work. I mean, we're at work all day, and we're bitching about work like at each other all not at each other, but we're bitching about work all day. You know what I mean? So just like you would in the office. I mean, so what's funny is my wife and I met at work, and we were coworkers. So this is kind of like we're coming back to where we kind of first started,
Yeah.
um, to some degree. I mean, um, but uh, but it I don't know. I think everything has its challenges. I mean, I mean, the conference call piece is always the one that always sticks in my mind about kids in the background. And again, would you shut those fucking kids up? Can you do something? Can you get off your fucking ass and help me out with these goddamn kids? Um,
I'm on with my fucking team. Oh, I know what you're doing with your fucking team, you worthless piece of shit.
are they as shitty of a team as you are, you motherfucker? What?
Maybe one of your teammates can get me off, you selfish son of a bitch.
I called the plumber. Why? Because I need some pipe blade, you fucking loser.
Oh man.
That was I think the best was like, "Oh, here we go. Here we go."
Oh man.
That's
But
beautiful.
yeah, man. I mean, it's um again, I think it's probably different for everybody, man. Like for me, I got some pretty good kids that are that are they enjoy each other. So I think that helps a lot. So again, not having the sibling rivalry, I think I'm probably more lucky than a lot of people are. 'Cause, I mean, I got some damn good kids. I'm not being biased there. I mean, most people would say that. Like, but yeah, man, most people just like being around the kids. So yeah, we do. We're getting through it. But yeah, like I said, man, the biggest challenge is just getting that time alone. And you know what else fucking sucks, man, is not having sports around. I guess I didn't realize how much sports are a release for things until we don't have it.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a very good point. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I started watching the draft yesterday, and I was like, "This sucks." I mean, I ended up falling asleep, but because that excitement wasn't there. Um, Well, I sent you that meme today with like with the big dick black guy in the one of the panels and Roger Goodell. So that's a great one. That dude is like he is the face of I don't know. I hope he ends up being a millionaire out of this
I hope
somehow,
so,
but I
'cause
don't think it's
we're
gonna happen.
passing all this shit around, and this guy's probably getting no damn royalties.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. I mean, I would
He's
guarantee that.
he's
So
like, "This fucking dick is a curse. There's 5 women in the world who can take this shit." Like you know what it's like to only date women that are 6'3" or taller?
Amazonian women, I only can date Amazonian
Right?
women.
You don't understand. She needs 8 of you guys to warm up to mine.
Yeah, I'm the last person in a train of 20.
Right? Like, I mean, no joke. Like that's think about that. To pull that thing out, like you almost have to make them sign a waiver. Like, look, I'm about to show you something. This is
It's a fucking NDA, a non-disclosure act agreement.
like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But okay, so I'm pretty excited now. Jesus fucking Christ!
I'm out.
What the
You
fuck am
sign
I
this
supposed
piece
to
of
do
paper
with
that
that?
says what did I say to
I mean,
our
what the
I
fuck am
said to our
I
one
supposed
friend,
to
she
do?
can our one friend she can bench press it, like just get her like use it as a weight.
I can't even jack you off with one hand. What the fuck am I?
Yeah.
I mean, oh man,
Po-
it's but that thing's got to be a
I don't know if
blessing.
this the I don't know if a big dick black guy is such a is a good piece for kids versus no kids, but too late now, motherfuckers.
Kids versus no kids and big dick black guy.
Yeah, exactly. featuring big dick black
So when
guy.
your wife's like, "Look, you guys pretty much always hit on golf, football, and porn. We can add big dick black guy to that now."
Exa exactly. What's the other oh, and the Tiger King. That's the
Well,
other
there we go. Yeah, we didn't even go that route.
I know, that's a good thing, so, anyway.
But, no, man, that's good stuff. I see we're up at an hour here.
Yep. So, alright, man, well, hopefully everybody enjoyed this episode, we had fun, and we have new technology, we might be cranking these fucking things out weekly, which I mean, I'm good for,
Yeah.
so, I don't have any kids, that's a
And you know what?
positive.
So one of the thing I got a shitload of kids, but you know what? Without activities, I actually have time. So
Oh, yeah, that's
that's
yeah, that's
usually
right, you're not off to lacrosse and football
yeah,
and
that's usually
what
these
have you.
hindrances. We've got some kind of activity going on. So yeah, let's keep pumping them out, man.
Absolutely, we can get a people we're gonna shock people if we put out an episode weekly. They're gonna be like, "What the are you guys okay?" I mean, yeah, literally, did they fart? Are you guys unemployed? I mean, what do you I mean
I thought you guys were working, man. I'm sorry. Well,
our next yeah, next episode, unemployment, the ups and downs of unemployment.
oh fuck.
Alright, man.
All right,
Uh, we're on, Twitter at Fragmental. I think it's at Fragmental Co. Is
man.
it at
Oh
Fragmental Co? I
yeah.
don't even know. Yeah. And fragmental.co on the website. So feel free to shoot us an email or say something on the website or tweet us however you want to do it. So
And as always,
thank
send us some ideas. We're always looking for feedback. Always, give us something to talk about.
absolutely. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Dave.